I get my girls asking me this all the time, what should I pack for show day? Now, this is me. This is a mess because I finished competing now for my season. So I put a poll up. Anyone that wants to know what I've been packing, just give you a heads up. If I missed anything, put it in the comments below, let me know. Let's, share ideas together. We all have our own different ideas, but what is in my show day bag when it comes to packing things? I have your bikinis. So I have my selection of bikinis, which I will be sending back in this box because this is what they get sent back in. But most girls will have a bikini bag. A bikini bag just to make sure it is looked after and stored properly. So within this bag I also have extra things. So I make sure I have my jewelry in here, and I make sure I have a small sewing kit in here. So they are extra things that can help. I have lip balm, and just in case I need anything last minute, I do have a razor, which obviously once you've got your tanned, it is what it is, accept it. So this one actually came with Sammy, who I use, Bikini Boutique, I will tag her. So this came with that, but I do have my own spare one as well with a few different colours. So these are things you can literally pick up from like B&M The Range. It just has multicolours there, just has things. As yet, I've only needed to use it once for someone else as a backup, touch wood, never for myself. And then I always have my jewellery in here. I actually do have spare jewellery in my top bit of my bag, which came in useful, again, not needed for me, but for someone else. She actually forgot her jewellery. I just gave her some because I just had loads. That, hair ties, I have a couple hair ties in here. What you'll also notice on show day as well is you can't wash because of the tan. You'll feel a bit smelly. So what I do as a good tip is I will spray my bikinis with any kind of perfume that I've got, because obviously you can't spray yourself, you can't use deodorant. Trust me, you will feel stinky. So I will spray with whatever perfume I've got my bikinis, and I will spray my robe. So it means whatever I'm wearing, or if I'm wearing loose baggy clothes or whatever it is that day, I will make sure that still smells amazing. So when I feel a bit stinky, everything else smells nice, so I don't feel like I smell so much. So the next key thing is your heels, making sure you have heels. So these aren't my show day heels, my show day heels are actually in the car. I've just grabbed any other heels for this example. Also maybe hear people talking about spare straps. I will always carry spare straps with me. So my actual show day heels are strapless, just because day to day I like wearing strapless. It's easier to get on and off. But to be on the safe side, I do like to have a strap on me when it comes to show day. So my straps, if I can get them, it has my straps in, just for peace of mind. The amount of times I've had strapped heels before, we're pulling them on and off all the time. To have that backup definitely helps. I keep a spare mitt just in case I need to pat anything when it comes to my tan. Obviously the tanners should kind of tan you yourself. If you are doing your own tan, definitely always keep your tan on hand. So your base coat should be done, it'll be mainly your top coat, and then obviously if you're doing your own glaze, most federations now the glaze is included. Another key thing that I'll always keep in here is hydration for post show. So all my little bits and pieces are always kept in this bag. So hydration post show is so key. Make sure that you have loads of water. Sometimes you are drinking on show day, but most commonly sometimes you're just holding off a little bit. So you definitely want to get that water in. Harry's just walking past. That water in post show. I think I would also have on hand as well, you'll have your food bag anyway. Make sure you got your meals, make sure you got your salt, make sure you've got anything that your coach tells you that you need. But I'll always have some random extra salt sachets. So you've got your bikini, you've got your robe, and you've got your heels. And your jewellery. They're the main things that you need, okay? Now this is going to depend if you're competing in the UK, if you compete abroad, is it somewhere hot, what time of year you're competing. So take all of this based on when you're competing, the time of year. So for me, I'll always have a blanket on hand just in case. So I found this really useful this year. This is one of those travel pillows / blankets. So you've got the option of, obviously you can sit on it because you're going to be doing a lot of sitting around. You want to rest those legs on show day, or you've got the option that obviously you can open this up and you've got the blanket as well. You want to say, well, I found this quite useful. Now, again, everyone, each their own. They might bring their own blankets. You might just have like a nice zip up hoodie. You don't want to do, ideally, not a pull over, just because when your hair and makeup's done, the last thing you want to be doing is pulling over a jumper over your hair and makeup. So zip up hoodie. I used to wear a big hoodie. You know, are they still a thing? I've got mine, but I used to wear an hoodie because, again, the hole to fit your head over was huge, and that was easy to go on and off, and it's very easy to go to the toilet. I will normally just wear like baggy loose clothes, baggy t-shirt, like a really oversized t-shirt. A lot of girls have sliders or slippers, whatever it is that's going to be better for you, flip-flops, whatever, just because for ease, these are easy to put on and off. And in the idea of staying warm, I would always have a pair of socks on me, because for me personally, my feet are the first to go. So you want socks that are not going to leave any marks. Again, if you get black, probably better because you're going to be tanned. Now, show day can be quite a long day, so make sure that you have either power pack, or in here I have chargers in here, so you can plonk yourself next to a plug socket and keep yourself nice and chill. Everyone handles show day differently, so some people are really social, they're going to be around loads of girls. Some people like to just put themselves to themselves, and it's no right or wrong, you do you. Whether you are bikini, wellness, fit model, whatever, you're always on last, nearly always on last. Some abroad shows you might not be, but UK especially, you're going to be last. So as the season gets busier and busier, you're going to be on later and later. So being able to make sure that you can keep yourself as distracted and chilled as possible is going to be one of the most important things. So for me, I do tend to run hot. So I will always have a fan on me. So this is more so, I guess, if you're going to abroad shows. And this is quite a bulky fan. I've got a few other, like the slimline fans, but very handy to have in case you are somewhere hot. Especially for me, I get very sweaty bits, and it is not nice. The tanners will always sort that out, thank God. If you're going somewhere hot, or you run hot, and you're worried about your tan, it can be really useful, especially if you can be abroad or in the summer and you do tend to run hot and you're a little bit worried. That is something that can be super, super helpful. Important as well, bands. PC is very good for Universe, for finals, that they will have a gym set up, but it will not be the case for any of the other shows and any other federation you go with. So make sure you've got bands. For me, I have a variety of bands. I don't have loads because the basics do the job. You don't need loads. A couple of the longer ones and then a couple booty bands. Knowing what you're pumping up as well, but it's better to have, say, too many bands, you don't need loads, have them in a nice handy case because it's very easy to just grab and go then when you need to pump up. Following on from the pump up, it is, for me, isn't that the cutest bottle ever? I will always have a small bottle to hand. So along with, obviously, hydration and salt, pre-stage, you are going to most likely have some sort of pre-workout or pump of some sort. Not always, everyone's different, but for me and for most of my clients, I will give them that. You can just take a little Tupperware that has your scoops of pre-workout in, have a shaker bottle to hand, have a little bit of water. Some people will just dry scoop with a little bit of water. Personal preference, I just take a little bottle, I make it in the morning, I know it's in my bag, ready to go for later in the day. Tripod. So again, if your coach isn't going to be there, or if they're there just for like a few hours, whatever, make sure this is your best friend. I cannot stress enough, as a coach, that getting good check-in shots for your coach makes a huge difference. So good lighting, if anyone's seen our previous YouTubes of us when we're traveling and stuff, or anything that we kind of talk about at home, we actually take our lighting with us because it just means it's a little bit more consistent, but it doesn't mean that you have to. It's great from a coach's point of view if you can get the good lighting, but getting a good setup. So not having to rely on anyone else, Bluetooth clicker, having a tripod, it will then mean that you can get good check-in shots. If you want your coach to get you your best results, send them the best possible check-ins. Makes a big difference. Go to show day, have some sort of tanning sheet or bedding, so that the night before show day, because you are tanned, that you protect whatever bedding that you are using. And let's just say, got the luxury of staying at home because it's a local show, but a tanning sheet is going to be super, super useful. So tanning sheet, a black towel for when you wash post-show. For some federations, they'll ask you to take a towel to stand on for your tanning. So PCA, for example, will ask you to bring a towel because they'll want you to stand on it. You could use a towel for when you go to sleep, but yeah, basically dark things are always going to be helpful. Scales. So scales are so important. Now these scales are super useful because they are smaller. You'll see big ass scales normally are a bit of a pain. So these are travel scales. Matt's used them as well, so they're still a little bit weighty, but they are a lot more of a convenient size. So we will always take these with us. We'll take a tape measure just so we can keep an eye on our data. We know what our show day weight is. They aren't the be all and end all, but they are super useful for your coach to get the best data, to see how you're looking based on many variables as a whole. But we touched on this in our bikini breakdown podcast, in the most recent one, the episode 4, about hair extensions. So I don't need like the length, but for me, especially for NPC, I want a little bit more volume. I want the width. So if you are thinking about your hair extensions are quite good. They aren't the be all and end all, but having longer hair and having that overall look helps bring that presentation together. These are just cheap. I think they're from like Lullabells or something. They're just a one piece, clip in, they do the job. That's all you need them to do really. If you are wanting that longer hair, pulling things together, you can get one piece, you can get 5 piece, you know, do all of that, but they do help create that overall look if that's what you are looking for, depending on the federation and how your overall look is already. Then extra little bits is going to be things like face wipes. So just in case you need to clean your hands, you need to tidy anything up, tidy any marks up. Always have a mirror on hand because again, throughout the day, whether you do your own makeup or not, even if you don't do your own makeup, it's always good to have your own mirror and some makeup with you. So it means you can touch up any bits you want to touch up. Most commonly, the things you are going to touch up are going to be things like your lipstick. It might be the fact you just might want some sort of like translucent powder just in case you look a little bit shiny, and you're going to want to make sure, just for peace of mind, eyelash glue and nail glue if you've got stuck on nails like me, because even if you get them done properly, sometimes the corners can come out. It can be quite annoying. So the key things to think about with makeup: eyelash glue, I would have tweezers, maybe some sort of just powder just in case you've got a bit shiny, but mainly going to be your lips, lipstick, lip gloss, lip liner, because if you're sipping throughout the day, if you're eating things, that's what's going to go. And then for me, because I'm clearly extra, this isn't actually charged at the minute, but I will have a little ring light as well. So yeah, so you can then take your own light, you can sort out your own makeup in okay lighting. You don't have to think that you need to go to the toilet or anything like that. So a good mirror, makeup, and then following on from that would be, if you are doing anything with your hair, just have some mini dry shampoo if needed, mini hairspray if needed. Then it might be that you also, if you're curling your hair and you know it drops, take your curlers. If you're straightening your hair and you know it goes frizzy, take your straighteners. Just so again, we are on late in the day, things will change. Your makeup, like certain things might not last, your hair might go a bit messy, so bring backups of things that you might need so you can sort that out in the day. So it's as literally as stress-free as possible. It's an extra thing that not many people know of, but anyone that's seen it thinks it's the best thing ever. I have an inflatable pillow because when you are sat down and you don't have a lot of glutes left, it is uncomfortable. But when I've already got this, and if I want to use this as a blanket, I want to be able to sit on something. This, anyone that follows me on Instagram knows I am a sucker for a Temu buy. Most of this stuff is probably Temu or Shein. So this is so useful, especially if you're traveling abroad to shows as well. But it is so space saving because you can literally just fold it up. You wouldn't even know it's in there. But on show day, it is a lifesaver. If you get one of these, tag me on Instagram and tell me, because you will be like, what was I doing before that? Because even if you're not sat on the floor, if you're sat on a seat, like by the time you blow this up, it's great, just putting it out there. If you don't know, get to know. Then finally, after the show, because you're probably going to go for food or whatever, have some clothes on hand. Some people don't always change, but for me, sitting in a bikini is quite comfortable. So because I've already got my socks, I would always keep, I'm not going to show you properly, but I'd always keep some spare pants. So it means after the show, I can literally just go and change, put on my comfies or put on whatever clothes I want to put on, but I can change out of my pants, because we all know if you're driving home, if you're going for a plan food or whatever, the bikini bottoms just aren't as comfortable. So having spare pants, so I've got my socks, got my pants, so much easier. And some people, they will want a bonnet for when it comes to tanning. I got it a little bit this time round where the tan does show on the front bit of your hair, but when you're blonde, it can like show even more so. So they give you a hairnet anyway with your own tan, but if you are going for tan and you get a spray tan, you might not be able to see on here, but I only used this once and it has already made the mark there. So some people do get a bonnet. I did 3 shows and I actually only wore this once because I kept forgetting it, so it's not the be all and end all. Headphones, I will always have some sort of headphones. I might not always use them, but I like to know I've got them. So if you want to sit somewhere by yourself, if you want to listen to music, if you want to watch TV, whatever it is you want to do, it just helps knowing that you've got that option if you want to shut the world down. Some things that might help some girls, these haven't even been opened, but they're on hand just in case. Flushable toilet seat covers. So I used to have a Shewee. I haven't actually used it in ages, but a Shewee, they are a game changer. So having a Shewee, or proper old school, anyone with me from back in the day, using a plastic cup, they are two options for when you are going to the toilet. And then, if needed, if you are someone that wants to sit down, worried about the marks you might get, flushable toilet seat covers will just help protect you that little bit more. I think that is everything. I have hair ties, because again, post-show, I just want to tie my hair up. I just want to feel like things are out of my way. So spare hair ties. But that is most of my show day bag. I fit a lot in, okay? And I have spare tissues, just in case. You never know. I had a watery eye, to be fair, on the last show day, and that tissue was really helping. It just saved my makeup, so I have a spare small packet of tissues in here as well. But that is everything. So hopefully I've covered everything. Some other things you can add in: ibuprofen, paracetamol, plasters. Sounds silly, but if you suffer from migraines, especially if you are someone that might suffer from headaches or migraines, and you are maybe on show day not drinking so much as you're used to, then just, again, it can be something that can help. The loud music, if you're not used to the loud music, can sometimes get people a headache. Like PCA is like woof, woof. It's great, but if you're not used to it, it can give you a headache. So things like that to bear in mind, and like I said, just precautionary stuff. But I think that's everything. So hopefully you found this useful. Let me know if you have. Hopefully this has made some sense. I have made a huge mess. As I said before, my bikinis do go back to Sammy at Bikini Boutique. So I get my bikinis made, I then send them back, and then they are used for rentals. So if you are wanting to get your show day bikini, whether it's brand new, if you're wanting to rent and save some money, then there's 4 colours here ready to go. So any questions on anything to do with bikinis, to do with show day, anything at all you want me to cover, please just let me know, and I will be sure to do my best to cover it. But hopefully you have found this video useful.